The movie surrounds a high school girl named Min-sun. Because of her appearance, she is frequently bullied in school by popular kids. Her only friend is Min-ji. But before knowing her in high school, Min-sun had no one to talk to for the 16 years of her life. Hence, she created an imaginary friend named Enor, who manifests in front of her when she is alone and needs a friend to talk to. One morning, Min-sun is getting ready for school, while Enor keeps her company. She is overly excited about nothing because her guts tell her something wonderful is about to happen today. Enor praises her optimism, but asks her to hurry, as a good imaginary friend would. On her way to the school, Min-sun is approached by Min-ji. They talk about a new comic that Min-sun managed to land the last copy of. Surprisingly enough, Min-sun's favorite character is not the hero, but the antagonist. She finds the character attractive because he is passionate about what he does. This resonates with her real life, as Min-sun has a crush on a guy similar to the villain in the comic. His name is Hotae, the popular kid who everyone is afraid of. Coincidentally, just as she is thinking of him, he approaches her and hands her a keyring that fell off her bag. This is the first time a guy is being nice to Min-sun, and she is especially happy that it is her crush. Hotae asks her to be careful and walks away. When alone, Min-sun meets Enor again. He can see how much she likes Hotae, but doesn't comment on anything about the guy. Min-sun, on the other hand, is over the moon, positive that many nice things are coming her way. Later that day, both she and Min-ji meet at a cafe. Min-ji seems to be bothered by something, but Min-sun doesn't notice it. They continue reading comics when a group of 3 bullies approaches them. Min-sun knows they bring trouble, so she tries her best to mind her own business, but they take the comic away and refuse to return it. The meanest girl from the group is Momo. She says she wants to borrow the comic and keep it for the next 10 years. When Min-sun speaks up for herself, they threaten to kill her on her way home. Things start to get out of hand, but just then comes Hotae to Min-sun's aid. His father is a businessman whose influence makes even the bullies fear him. Hotae beats up the guy in their group and sends them all away. He also gives Min-sun his number so she can call him if they trouble her again. After school, Min-sun is going through Hotae's social media, fawning over his pictures. After finding out what happened today, even Enor believes Hotae has feelings for his friend. As they chat about him, his name flashes on Min-sun's phone, and she rushes to meet him outside. When asked why he called, Hotae confesses that he likes her and wants to take her out on a date. Min-sun doesn't believe him at first, unused to male attention, but as Hotae leans in for a kiss, her dream becomes a reality. Min-sun closes her eyes, waiting for the kiss, but it never comes. Instead, Hotae takes a picture of her most vulnerable self and then makes fun of her like the psychopath he is. It is then revealed that he never liked her and was only being nice for a prank. The bullies join him, laughing at Min-sun for thinking that she had a chance with someone like Hotae. He is not just a bad person, but also a sociopath. Oh damn, I was joking, but it's actually part of the script. He rules over the school and uses his father's influence to terrorize people for fun. He wants Min-sun to take on the responsibility of his slave. She must come to him whenever he demands, and he can do whatever he pleases with her. Min-sun is still in shock, but she knows her life is going to turn into hell from now on. Moreover, it is revealed that Min-ji was also in on the bully's plan because she was threatened. The scene cuts to a month later. Min-sun turned her phone off and hasn't been out of the house since the bullying incident. She sleeps all day, drowning in depression. Her only companion is her imaginary friend, and he too is tired of seeing her like that. One day, he introduces her to the concept of revenge. The poor girl never thought going against the bullies was possible, but Enor motivates her enough to do something about her life. In the following montage, Min-sun changes her lifestyle completely. She manages her diet and exercises to lose weight. Not just that, but she wraps herself with tape and suffocates for hours, driven by the will to take revenge. Apart from her weight, she focuses on changing her attitude and gaining more confidence through several courses. Exactly a year later, Min-sun is a changed person. She is thinner and the most confident she has ever been, but she cannot help but be nervous since it is the time to finally face her fears. The first person she goes for is Young-jae, the least important member of the bully group. She starts by hitting him and pretending to have mistaken him for someone else. Young-jae instantly falls for her charisma now that Min-sun is conventionally attractive and physically abusive. They flirt for a while before exchanging numbers. Young-jae is over the moon while Min-sun is ready for the next part of the plan. Later that day, Ho-tae notices Young-jae looking at his phone frequently. He doesn't allow any of his close mates to do things without notifying him first. They aren't even allowed to be in a relationship without his permission, but they put up with his demands to stay on his good side. Upon realizing that something is off about Young-jae, Ho-tae jokingly threatens to kill his girlfriend if he has one in secret. Ho-tae is deeply, deeply in the closet. Minji still works as a slave for the group and buys things for them. This time, she forgets to bring cigarettes, angering Momo. The last member of the group is Mina, the kindest one of the lot who wants to forgive Minji. Ho-tae registers that she always interrupts him when they are bullying people and warns her to be careful. When he is not around, Young-jae calls Min-sun and they meet again. Min-sun is shocked at how differently he talks to her than he used to. The change in behavior angers her as she remembers how miserable she was because of him only a year ago. Young-jae tells her that he likes her, but she rejects him, saying that she is in need of 1 million won and cannot be distracted. The next day, Young-jae sells his phone and gaming console to get the money for her. Min-sun is taken aback, but the gesture angers her even more. She says that she will return the money in 10 years, mimicking their words to her. Young-jae still doesn't get the hint though, and is shocked when she throws the money at him and walks away. He quickly stops her, asking her the reason she is rejecting him. Min-sun truthfully claims that she despises all bullies, and he is one of the known bullies in the school. In reply, Young-jae says he will leave the group and change if it means that she will accept him. In the following scene, Minji is again troubled by the group. Young-jae approaches them, asking her to go away. An angered Ho-tae inquires what he is doing, and is surprised to find out he wants to leave the group. Just when things get heated, Min-sun comes to Young-jae and makes up an excuse to save him. Ho-tae is instantly alarmed by her presence, but thinks she is stunning. To spite Young-jae, he is extra friendly to Min-sun and even asks her for her number. Momo is not happy about the interaction because she is in love with Ho-tae, and they have been in a relationship for a month now. When Ho-tae asks Min-sun for her number, Young-jae comes in between and drags her away. He doesn't like that she interfered in his matter, but Min-sun hugs him and makes him forget about it. She claims to be 10% in love with him, as a joke, so he would work harder to make her fall completely in love. At night, Inor asks Min-sun if she is doing okay. The change in her attitude has also turned her somewhat heartless, which worries him. However, Min-sun doesn't see any problem with what she is doing, and is happy to use Young-jae for her own benefit. Inor sees how different she is from a year ago, and the story goes into a flashback. After trying several ways to lose weight, including the tape method, Min-sun had still not made progress. Then, one day, Ho-tae came to visit her, worried that she hadn't come to school in more than 2 months. He found out about her little revenge plan and made fun of it. He made her believe that being thinner or more confident will never change who she is from the inside. She will always be their punching bag, a loser that no one likes. The visit made Min-sun go into another spiral of depression, and she ended up committing the unthinkable. During her funeral, a miracle happened, and her sister Sai saw Inor for the first time. She used to live far away and never knew what Min-sun was going through. Upon finding out about the bullies, she made it her mission to take revenge for her sister's death. Hence, the confident person who returned to school was not Min-sun, but her sister, Sai. A few days later, Sai meets Ho-tae. She says that Young-jae is just a friend and tries to seduce him. She wants them to fight and end each other without her having to do anything to break them. They exchange phone numbers and decide to go out someday. Sai then goes on a date with Young-jae, waiting for Ho-tae to call her phone in front of him. She brings him to his house and he tries to kiss her while watching the TV. The phone rings at the right time and Young-jae sees Ho-tae calling her. She picks it up and agrees to go out with him the next day. Young-jae is stunned, but Sai recovers by lying that she was forced to give him her number and she doesn't want to meet him either. Young-jae believes her and grows more hateful of his former best friend. He promises to get rid of Ho-tae at any cost, much to Sai's delight. In the evening, he calls Ho-tae in an alleyway, ready to hit him with a baseball bat. But, taking him by surprise, someone else knocks him out before he does anything. A week passes with no sign of Young-jae. Sai is worried that her plan might have failed after so much work. She still has to go out with Ho-tae and is terribly nervous given their history. Momo finds out about this on her and Ho-tae's 2-month dating anniversary. To apologize for forgetting, Ho-tae gives her a golden lighter as a gift. Still, Momo is not someone who lets things slide that easily. She gathers up a few men and goes to teach Sai a lesson for hitting on her boyfriend. The interaction is cut short when Sai tases Momo, and strangely enough, the guys do nothing. She leaves the bully with a final warning, asking her to never bother her again. Similarly, Similarly, Mina, who is the kind one in the group, apologizes to Sai on her own. Sai lets her go because she was never really mean to her anyway. Now, the only person left to deal with is Dickhead McGee. In the next scene, we see a fight between Hote, Enor, and Sai. They stab each other, causing everyone's death. Suddenly, the scene changes to a psychiatric hospital. Enor is a doctor treating Sai for her multiple personality disorder. In a wild turn of events, it is revealed that Hote and the bullies never existed. They were personalities derived from Sai herself. Last year, Sai's disorder grew intense, and she turned into a violent persona, brought out as Hote. Unable to suppress the persona, she killed her sister Min Sun. Eventually, she realized what she did and was struck by guilt. To avoid taking responsibility, she made up the entire story about Min Sun getting bullied so that she would be a hero in her own story, not a murderer who killed her own sister. All this time, she thought Enor was her imaginary friend because he would interrupt her dream world. But in reality, he was her doctor. In real life, he reveals that he has been able to get rid of all of Sai's personalities except for Hote. If she doesn't get him out of her head, she will be locked away for life. A few days after Sai is informed of this, Hote's personality disappears completely. Enor thinks his treatment worked, and Sai is given little jail time considering her sickness. In the last scene, Sai is out of jail talking to Enor about life. She shows him a lighter, similar to the one Hote gave Momo when they last met. Enor looks at it in shock, realizing that the killer in Sai is still present somewhere inside her. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.